All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, it's finally here. We were waiting for this announcement. None of us are surprised by this. We all knew this was coming. We were all expecting it to happen. We were just waiting for it to go down. And, it's finally here. Drew Brees has officially announced his retirement from the NFL. Earlier today, he posted a video on Instagram of his children announcing his retirement, which was very, very great video. I liked it. Just having his kids announce how he's retiring to spend more time with them. Very sweet video. I enjoyed it. So great video there. But yeah, Drew Brees, he's hanging it up. He has officially retired from the NFL. That's tough, man. We all knew this was coming. We all expected it. We just saw Drew Brees his final season, and we were just looking at him like, yeah. There were a lot of times last year, even when he came back, it just was like he doesn't have it anymore. You don't even see him try to throw deep. We all knew this was coming. It looked like the end of the road for Drew Brees. And we even saw moments like at the end of the playoff game where you see him talking to Jameis Winston like, this is your team now. We all knew this was happening, so yeah, none of us are surprised to hear he's announcing his retirement, but man, that ends an era in New Orleans. Their greatest era in franchise history, in fact, This is tough. Just because I'm just watching all these quarterbacks I grew up watching, just gone, retire after retire after retire. Eventually it's just going to be Brady left, and when Brady leaves, that's it. Now, I do enjoy this new generation of quarterbacks. In fact, my favorite player in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, my quarterback for my Ravens team, I love him. But at the same time, man, just those guys I grew watching up, it was something special, Just watching Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Tony Romo, Phillip Rivers, all these guys, man. And then watching even some of the older guys getting ready to leave the league, like Brett Favre. And, you look at it, and it's just like, man, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. I'm definitely going to miss him. All these guys, I'm just getting ready to leave. This was a big part of my childhood. These are the guys I was watching while getting into sports. And they're gone. They're gone. And I really enjoy those moments. Some of the greatest sports moments we've seen have happened with these guys. And now they're just leaving one by one. Who else is really left? Ben Roethlisberger is going to be around next season, but I don't know about after that. Tom Brady's still hanging around. And Phillip Rivers, has Phillip Rivers announced his retirement yet? I don't think he has. So, yeah, pretty much after that, I'm looking at the quarterbacks everywhere else. You don't really have anyone left besides those three for the most part, because now Drew Brees has punched his ticket into retirement. He's heading into the Hall of Fame, and he only have so much left. The new generation that's coming in, they're just going to be taking over, and the guys, the young guys we saw coming in, like, Aaron Rodgers at that time coming to take over, and then Russell Wilson coming in those times, they're going to be the veterans for the most part. But yeah, it sucks, but that's just how it is. Eventually time catches up with you and you got to go. But Drew Brees, yes, I'm going to miss him. Drew Brees, he's done so much for the city of New Orleans. Like, you can't even imagine. This man, I'm so glad he was able to win them a Super Bowl. That is his greatest achievement. Winning that Super Bowl against Peyton Manning and the Colts is his greatest achievement. And it's something special. It is truly something special. I'm glad Drew Brees got to get that Super Bowl, because what we saw happen in the 2010s, if he would have went out without a Super Bowl, that would have really hurt. But yeah, he did so much for New Orleans, man. During one of their darkest times, for him to come back and revive that city, man. They freaking go through Katrina and a lot of other stuff, and he comes in, revitalizes this team, and just brings back hope and joy into New Orleans. They're never going to forget Drew Brees for what he did. He revived this team. He helped revive the city because of that team and just what he was able to accomplish. And eventually, he helped them get to a Super Bowl and win a championship. Just so much Drew Brees did, man. He has so many of the passing records. He's got a bunch of passing records, which, definitely fighting, especially with the touchdown record. That one's gone. He had it for a moment, but Tom Brady's gonna take that. He had it at some point, but him and Brady were fighting for it. Brady's won this one. He's gonna take it and far eclipse it. But just so many just different moments and different passing records and different accomplishments for Drew Brees, and it's amazing what this man was able to accomplish and what he was able to do in his career. I mean, nobody was more accurate than this guy. He's one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate quarterbacks to ever play this game. One of the best passers we've ever seen play this game. And it's so interesting to see how this man was able to do that. Because there was a point in time before he even went to New Orleans where people thought this guy was just never going to be the same. And it's a big part of what caused him to end up leaving the AFC, because most people don't know he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers. Like, he was a Charger for 3 years, and they tried to do something, and they weren't able to get something. And he ended up suffering an injury, and a lot of people didn't think Drew Brees would be able to continue to play at a high level because of it. So next thing you know, he ends up going to New Orleans with Sean Payton, and he revitalizes this team and this franchise and leads them to a championship. So despite what people were saying about him at that time, for what he was able to accomplish after San Diego, to go to New Orleans and do what this guy was able to do is something fantastic. And I'm just never going to forget Drew Brees, man. But one thing that is definitely going to hurt me when I look back on his career is the amount of wasted years that he has on his resume. New Orleans wasted this man's talent. You can argue from 2012 to 2016, they wasted this man's talent. He's putting up 5,000-yard passing seasons and nothing to show for it. The seasons where he's coming out there dropping 30 a game just to have his defense give up 35. When he would drop 40, they would give up 45. 2014, 2015, just awful. From 2012 to 2016, that was the worst time to actually be watching the Saints, because you're watching them waste this man's talent. They just didn't have the team around them. But what made it even worse is when they did have the team around them, they just collapsed. I mean, I don't know how you can explain this. So much postseason disappointment and heartbreak with Drew Brees as your quarterback, and it's not even his fault. You got the freaking 2011 divisional round. Alex Smith beats you guys in the playoffs. Near what was the walk-off touchdown to Davis? That was tough. Then you go to 2017 with the Minneapolis Miracle. That happens when the Saints already pretty much have the game won. Just make a stop. The Minneapolis Miracle happens. Then you got in 2019, you are at home in the wild card round, heavily favored against the Minnesota Vikings, and you lose to Kirk Cousins in the playoff game. This previous playoff game against Tom Brady and the Bucs, you destroyed the Bucs throughout the season. The 2 times you faced them, you destroyed them, only to have them come into your house in the divisional round and you guys get embarrassed. That was a terrible way for Drew Brees to go out. And I talked about it. He went out sad. That was a tough way to see Drew Brees go out. And of course, the most painful loss that I don't believe Saints fans have gotten over, and they probably won't get over for a long time. The 2018 NFC Championship game. There is a great chance they're going to the Super Bowl if it wasn't for that call. Now, I definitely spoke my opinions on that. You've seen on the videos. I've talked about that and how I said, even though that was a horrible call and that was something that majorly impacted the game, Saints still had an opportunity to, make it to the Super Bowl. They could have made a stop, but they let the Rams get into field goal range, tie the game, send it to overtime, something like that. So it's like, you still had an opportunity. But at the same time, that play, that call, that never happened. A lot of Saints fans are going to look back and say that's the reason we didn't win a Super Bowl in 2018. And it's tough. It's tough to see. A lot of heartbreaking losses in the playoffs, in the NFC specifically, or just in the NFL in general. A lot of those are on Drew Brees' resume, and it's not even his fault. I don't know what to tell you, man. But yeah, it was some bad moments, some heartbreaking moments, but it never really was Drew Brees' fault. Drew Brees, from the moment he stepped into New Orleans until his final moment, in that stadium, in the dome. The man has been special. The man has been one of the best. The man has been great. Even with age catching up to him, he still showed moments of brilliance and accuracy. And I'm honestly going to miss him. I don't know what Drew Brees is going to do after retirement. He may be one of those guys that... Actually, no, we know what he's going to do in retirement. Doesn't he have a deal? You know what? Let me not talk about that. We'll wait. I'm pretty sure he has a TV deal, but you know what? We'll wait about that. But just, yeah, Drew Brees no longer going to be able to see this man play football. It's tough, man. It's really tough. We've lost a lot of guys, you know. We lost a lot of guys. And just, I go back to that era, you know. When you're seeing guys like Kurt Warner and Brett Favre getting ready to go out, you see these young guns come in. You're seeing Tom Brady on that rise to his dominance. Peyton Manning starting to emerge and finally getting over the hump. You see a young Ben Roethlisberger get early success. You see a Eli Manning find a way in 07 to get that done. You're seeing Drew Brees take himself, try his best in San Diego. Then he goes to New Orleans, helps them win a championship. You see guys like Tony Romo, who wasn't able to accomplish what the Cowboys wanted to, but he was still a great quarterback. There was so much just talent at the quarterback position that we got to watch and enjoy. Hell, I'm still watching throwback games of just like moments from Cowboy and Steelers games, just moments of Saints just playing some of these tough guys. It was some of the greatest football we've ever seen. So many talented quarterbacks in the 2000s, and now all of them are heading to retirement. I'm really gonna miss Drew Brees. I'm really gonna miss him. But, you know, time catches up with you. And unfortunately, you know, when that happens, when your number's called, bruh, you gotta head on out. You gotta head into retirement. You gotta know when it's time to go. And Drew Brees knew it was time to go. We saw that playoff game. It was time to go. Unfortunately, Drew Brees went out like Dan Marino instead of Peyton Manning. Now, of course, we know Drew Brees won a Super Bowl. I'm just saying his final game was not a good look. It was a terrible game for him and a disappointment, as opposed to Peyton Manning, who didn't have a great game, but he ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, like, that's the comparison. We know Dan Marino never won a championship. Drew Brees did win a championship. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone into retirement. He's heading into the Hall of Fame. We'll be seeing him there in 5 years, five plus years, whenever. But yeah, I'm gonna miss you, Drew Brees. Thank you for all the entertainment. Thank you for everything you did for New Orleans. They are never gonna forget you. You've done so much. You will be missed. The NFL will be missed. And yeah, I'm just running out of guys to cling on to at this point. I don't have really much people to cling on to. I've never been a Brady guy, so I'm not gonna cling on to Brady because of my childhood and watching him and so many great quarterbacks grow up. Once Brady's gone, it's just like, it's over. It's just going to be this next generation. And I enjoy these next generation of quarterbacks. Like I said, Lamar is my favorite player. But at the same time, watching football, I cannot tell you, watching football in the 2000s, I might have to make a video on this. Because like the 2000s was the last time football really felt like football. The 2010s, you started to see a transition into what we see now. And there are some things, in fact, a lot of things about, you know, the NFL and just football in general I see that I just don't like. The 2000s were the last time football really felt like football, where you could really hit the quarterback and stuff like that. But just, and because of that, you saw so many great quarterbacks come out of the 2000s. And I'm really going to miss that. But, you know, still, I'm excited to see what this next generation's got. You know, Mahomes already taken that lead with him winning a Super Bowl. Lamar's got an MVP. You got guys like Deshaun Watson. You got guys like Josh Allen. You got a bunch of guys emerging. We'll just see what happens with this next generation. But that previous generation, they're getting ready to head out the door. Once Brady's gone, it's pretty much over. But yeah, farewell, Drew Brees. Farewell. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here. Peace out, Drew Brees. Peace out.